Troops, here we are, end of 2019. I found another awesome guest on the Eagle podcast, all the way from South Wales, an absolute rocket of a woman. When I look at people's Instagrams, sometimes I think, I wonder if the person matches the account. Well, this time, the account doesn't match the person. Carisbowen, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well. How was your weekend and are you looking forward to Christmas?
Weekend was as kick-ass as ever. Mental,
yeah.
But good mental, as you know. And yeah, Christmas, yeah, it sort of comes and goes quite fast, isn't it? But just trying to plan something with my dudes to make it memorable.
Well, it is all about making it memorable, and I think this weekend you were in the old sea again, having a bit of a splash.
Yeah, just a bit.
What draws you into swimming? For those who don't know, you're big into open water swimming.
I am, yeah. So basically, a year ago, I created. Well, no, I think more than created a goal. I just thought practice what I preach in telling people that grow to love what you hate. And
wow.
I didn't hate swimming. I just couldn't swim. So I was telling other people to sort of, if you struggle on, burpees, do more of them. If you can't do a press up, just keep doing them, So then I was like, right, well, what is my sort of weakest point then? And what do I need to work on? And then I was like, well, just swimming. So I just absolutely hammered the pool last year. And yeah, loved it. Went to like these fast swim lessons at like 6 a.m. before work. Yeah, so there was a coach there and you'd sort of do drills and things with him. So it kind of progressed there and then I did a lot on my own. And basically this year then, cut a long story a bit shorter, myself and a few of my friends had already started swimming in the sea.
Right.
I'm a mother of two sons and my youngest son actually had been swimming in the sea for a while as well.
Wow.
Before I did. And yeah, so we just vowed to swim twice a day, every day during the summer. And that's what we did. And yeah, it's just progressed really from nice weather swimming to...
I hear what you say there. There's a lot of people, what you just said there about learn to love what you hate, aka do exactly what it says on the tin. And if you're trying to push a message of you should be doing this, but then you won't do something that pushes you out your comfort zone, I feel like there's a lot of people could get a bit more of that. And so you started in the pool, and what was the transition like going from the pool? Like, just how cold is that sea? Is the question.
Well, I think when we were, you walk into it during summer, and it's just that sort of like you connect it to summer holidays with your family. So I'm quite lucky because I live along the coast, so it's what we know. I'm at home anywhere near the sea. But then I think we just never really appreciated the fact that it was right there. I'm 28 years old and I only this year, my 28th year, have I fallen in love with what's right on my doorstep.
Wow.
And the benefits to it are, there's a list as long as my arm. But yeah, I think it was, we thought it was cold then. It was then, it's like, and you all feel a bit crazy, It's all a bit testing, and then you get the nutty ones that are running. But the difference, obviously, from doing it then to we all sort of spoke and we were like, this is something we want to do all of our lives, all during the year, So like, when's the cut-off point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's men and women, probably a bit older, that do swim every single day around here.
Wow.
So we were like, we're gonna be the people that people talk about and say like, they go in every day, all year.
Wow.
So and then obviously the cold weather started kicking in, and the big group got a bit smaller and a bit smaller and a bit smaller.
Yeah.
And I think I'm one of the very few that I know of anyway, there's probably more, but in my area now that are still going in.
And do you find that you've built a tolerance to cold?
Yes, of course you would. Yeah, you would. So over time you'd build a tolerance, but I think it's all in the mind.
Right.
It's a huge mental battle.
Wow.
Because you have to want to be fully submerged to be in there. You know, you have to want that. You know, you can't force that that strength you need.
The
you know?
change.
Yeah, so it just comes in levels. So it's if I know I'm actually going in today. So I woke up this morning, and that's not the first thing I think of, but it's first of 5 things that I think of is,
wow,
that's today. So during the whole day, no matter what I'm doing, I play it out in my mind, driving to the lake or sea, you know, what I do when I get there, my breathing techniques leading up to it, so it's about 20-minute drives or 20-minute breathing exercises, and then get in there and just, you know, being sensible about it, because you'll have the person that might come with you, and they might be, you know, like, yeah, come on, let's go in, and you know, you've got to be really, really, really switched on and clued up on what you're about to do.
Yeah. You've got to prepare your body and your mind for what's coming.
Massively, yeah, because it's no joke. But
No,
it challenges me mentally and physically in every way. It just does it for me. It's just, it ticks all the boxes.
How far do you go, and do you have a sort of set routine? As in, if you were running, you'd be fartlecking or you'd be doing hill sprints. Is there a certain sort of routine you do in the water, or do you just swim?
In the pool, yeah. So
in the pool.
Yeah, in the pool, yeah. It's definitely whether it's down to like drills and whether I'm going to do sprints or sort of long distance. It's different, and it depends who's with you when you're doing it open water. Because if it was in the sea, you'd have sort of boys during the summer, where it's like they obviously the lifeguards and things would or RNLI with us.
Yeah.
So they would then obviously give you like a safe zone, you know, where to swim into. So I think I was the first one. Oh, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet, that we don't wear wetsuits.
No. Well, I was going to get onto kit and equipment, but yeah. Sorry, I was going to say to you, no, you that's fine. So you just wear a normal bathing costume, don't you? You don't wear like a wetsuit or a dry suit, or do you not put like any sort of barrier stuff on your skin? Just straight in.
Just straight in, yeah, straight in.
Wow.
Just in my bathers, bringing the bathers back, you know. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say, is because you go to the first buoy, and I think it's about a quarter of a mile from slip to the first buoy when there's a full tide. Yeah. So then it's like, I'd say it's about 15 meters then in between. I may be wrong, that's what I guess. Yeah, so then there's like, you know, you can go sort of like 5 buoys out, and then it comes around. So it's a good distance, it's a couple of miles, you know, where you're going around it. And yeah, so basically we'd be out on like the 3rd, 4th buoy, and you know, you're kicking jellyfishes and high-fiving them. I high-fived on one day because I just went, you know, over arm and pulled the stroke, and I just I just high-fived one, and it was just, my 11-year-old was out there with us, and the one thing you don't want to do out there is look at somebody and go,
yeah, shocking.
I was like, what? It's huge. My 11-year-old just went, it's huge, and I was like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Just stay calm, you'll be fine. And he was the first one then going, like, come on, you know.
Yeah.
But obviously, keeping it safe, you know, we are sensible with it and knowing exactly where the currents are coming through, when the tide's in and out, and you know, you've got to know your stuff.
And does everyone know you as the crazy swimming lady, or have you got any thought?
Well, there's a few of us. Yeah, there's a few of us. Yeah. So my friend Sophie, she's a goddess.
Right.
She's she's awesome, and my friend Will, and there's a few of us, you know. But yeah, I think Sophie's living in London now.
Right.
She's got a dream job up there, so she's doing some cold water swimming to open water. She's
awesome.
Ocean up there, and I'm doing it from here. So this weekend, actually, we've got a swimming competition in Bristol in the 40 shed pool.
Nice.
So it's the outdoor pool. So there's going to be 2 categories: the wetsuit category and then the skins, which is us in bathers.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a relay, and then some individual sprint races as well. So So I can't wait to see her and get to be in the water this year.
Do you know what? Like, fair play to you, because that sets an example, and that'll sort of bring it on to what into your other sort of many careers that you've had. Personal training wise, I know something that's close to your passion. And obviously, when someone's looking for a personal trainer, they're looking for someone who they can aspire to be or look up to. And I think what you've done there is you've set like a high bar. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're not telling people to go in the water. You're telling them come in the water, and that's different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're already in there doing it, and if they can see that, it's like, well, I'm going to join, or I want to be a person. I want her to be my personal trainer. So, how do you find the world of personal training and sort of educating people into leading? I want to say fitter and healthier lives, and I want to sort of get away from the Love Island sort of look. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people look at programs like that, and I watch it. I think it's quite funny, but
it's funny you mentioning Love Island, because I walked into my eldest son, who's 13.
yeah,
and I walked into his room one day, and I just walked in, and I must be taking a laundry in, and I looked, and I sort of like double took, and I was like, what? What are you? What? And I reacted as if he was watching something a lot worse.
Yeah, Love Island, yeah.
Love Island, right? And I was so upset, and I was like, because that it's just gives this image of what people should be like, or maybe what love should be like, or what love is, and I was just mortified because I just don't believe in anything. And the thing is, it can't be good for them, as we said. I'm sure we'll go into depth a bit more, but your mental state, and that's being played with. It's going to be played with enough through life with what it throws at you, let alone being forced on film to just play with somebody's emotions. I think it's really
no, and it sort of took us down a rabbit hole, but I like what you're saying, and I've mentioned it a few times. Like, for me, the show, I find it like quite like entertaining and a bit sort of tongue in cheek. It's a bit like Blind Date, but a bit more sort of like on coke. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit more full on.
Minus Scylla.
Mine is Scylla, but it says to people, if you don't look like this, then you know what I mean, no one will find you attractive, which is wrong. And I feel like what they don't show is they don't show these people before the show going into sort of strict regiments of dietitians, PTs, and getting ready to go on the show. I'd love to see like Love Island, like.
Do you know what? At the time, I said, sorry to interrupt you. I said at the time when he came out, put me in there, right? Because during my training, I'll go into why I started in a second, but guys, I don't know. I can't speak for men, but I intimidate a lot of them, and I think it's just because I'm a strong character. I'm a strong woman. I don't need to rely on anybody for myself, but I can flirt better than the rest of them and things. So it's just sort of having that, and it's just a weak. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to judge because I don't know them, but it's just they need somebody like me. I'd go in tomorrow just to I don't know.
Change
counsel everyone.
change the game. No,
definitely.
But onto your sort of personal training, how's that working out for you as a business, and what do you get from it?
Okay, so I think I'll tap down to just sports in general for a second, because I absolutely hated sports growing up. I hated everything to do with it. I was the girl in the school netball team wearing the Ethnies trainers with a big fat tongue on it, and the teacher walking over to me and sort of like standing on my toes and ripping my laces, and I'd be like, oh God, kill me now.
Right.
But I was good at it, so like, I had it in me, and it was sort of cross country to have a sneaky cigarette halfway around sort of girl. So, and I just didn't like it, but so I had a couple of bad experiences, like the Ethnies one obviously traumatized me. But so then I had my sons super young. Really fortunate to have had a really good upbringing to know to bring them up with morals and manners. But left school, had them, so just got into like parenting super early in life, and then I was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 21.
Wow.
So I think during that year and just fighting it basically, I was in situations where I felt like I couldn't do anything. I could do anything for myself, you know, let
Yeah.
alone for my children. So
Yeah.
it's during that sort of journey really, and that year, because it was a journey.
Yeah.
And I know some would find it a negative one, but I found it a massive positive journey in my life, because it's molded me into the person that I'm going to be forever.
I was just going to ask you. I don't believe in there's a bad experience. I always believe there's always something that good can be taken from even the worst experience. And I was going to ask if you feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Every single one of them. And I think there's maybe some things, you know, other things that I've been through which might have, you know, been a little bit worse maybe, you know. But again, you know, it's just finding peace and just knowing that I've experienced something that I can now relate with somebody else about, because you can only try and imagine what somebody's been through or going through, but to have been through it yourself, you can, you know, you can have that connection with somebody. And even if it's a connection with a stranger, it's knowing that they're not alone, you're not alone, you know. And it's just I think you have to find that in times, don't you? And I think I'm extremely fortunate to have had that experience, to have the outlook that I've got now.
Yeah.
And to be able to share that with people, which is why that I even thought about becoming a personal trainer in the beginning.
So that was one of the driving factors to becoming a personal trainer.
Definitely, yeah. So what I did was, after I was cured, I didn't plan this, but I ended up, so I'd take my children to school, but I'd end up being in the gym for about 4 hours a day.
Right.
So that to me was the only place where, you know, I'd have my daily routine. I'd have to be structured. It'd have to be regimented to wake up, get the boys to school. I'd get excited, you know, I'd have butterflies in my stomach all morning, knowing that I was going to deadlift today, I was going to squat today, or I was going to bench today. And it always had to be. Again, it progressed to get into the gym, you know. But I had to create a goal.
Yeah.
Just like I would during treatment. So from day one to the last day, the goal was to survive.
Right.
So then I had to replace that, because, you know, what was I going to do then? You know, well, what's next then? What have I got to do now then? So it was just like, right, you gotta bench 70, weigh in 60. You gotta.
Right.
My deadlifts at the time were 160, weigh in like 62 kilograms. So, you know, so I just had to keep on driving and just creating goals and just believing to achieve the impossible always. So personal training came from there really. So I was in the gym all day, every day, and the manager at the time just said, Caris, just do your qualifications and just work here. You know?
It's weird how the world works. You're diagnosed with cancer. You feel like, at the time, I bet you thought like, well, where do we go from here? And then a few months down the line, you're in the gym, and then all of a sudden the manager says this, then you get a job as a PT. And how many, from your bad experience, how many other people have you influenced to help improve their lives? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you hadn't have been diagnosed with cancer, would you have become a PT, and would you have met all these people, and would you be open swimming?
Probably
Do you know
not.
what I mean?
No, probably not. Because during my treatment, I was very, very open on Facebook. So basically, what my mentality during treatment was, I didn't want to be the girl in the corner with no hair that everybody looked at like I was already gone. That's deep. Super deep, but so true, you know, because people didn't know what to say. People didn't treat me like I was me, because they'd seen me differently, you know, but I was more me than ever, you know. I wanted them to treat me normal more than they ever had before. So I isolated myself for the whole time. Okay, so I chose, my mother was a godsend with my little boys. So say I'd have treatment every 2 weeks. On the first sort of 10 days were the worst. So for those 10 days, every 2 weeks, I just shut myself off.
Right.
And I'm looking back, I'm a genius for doing so, because all that time in your own head is really good for you. So at 21, to just, you could probably make a film on it because it was just stages, just crazy days and nights, and didn't know, you know, what day it was, time it was sometimes. And, you know, my stepdad was Meals on Wheels, we called him. Right?
Oh,
so
wow.
he'd come every day with whatever I wanted. I had. My friends and family were amazing, but I still shut myself off.
Wow.
So yeah, I was really open on social media. I don't think Instagram was out then. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Facebook anyway. So I was like super, everything I did, my low days, my high days, and sort of embraced my beautiful baldness and everything.
Yeah.
And from there, I was confronted by the local paper.
Yeah.
To write a weekly blog in my paper. So it was called Kicking Cancer's Butt.
Right.
Original. And yeah, I think it started from there. So I know I had not blown smoke up my own ass, but I know I had influenced, and I was helping a lot of people that were either having treatment or knew somebody having treatment, because I was just like, it was just projecting out of my thoughts, everything.
And one thing I noticed about you is you've really embraced like the skinhead look, like you've really. It's like some people might try and hide what they feel might be like an imperfection, but I feel like what you've done is like you've really got a hold of that, and it's like your thing now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's crazy because I was like 20, and a friend of mine asked me, she was like, oh, I'm going to shave my hair off for charity. I don't know anybody else. These were her exact words. I don't know anybody else that will do it with me. Will you?
Yeah.
I was like halfway through that already, thinking yes. And I was like, yeah, of course I will. So we basically raised a lot of money for cystic fibrosis charity.
Wow.
And we shaved our hair off in the entrance of Tesco's.
Oh, wow.
So I thought it was cold then. Yeah, so anyway, we shaved our hair off, and I remember I was seeing somebody at the time. He's going to laugh at this when he hears this, because we're friends now. But yeah, he was like, please, don't shave your hair. I was like, yes, I'm doing it. Yeah, that was so funny. Yeah, so it came off then, and I got wigs, and, you know, I did wear it bald sometimes, but I was like, everyone looked at me as if I was crazy, even though it was child. So yeah, I had really cool wigs I got online. And then, like 8 months later, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, right. Okay, so
this is before.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I can remember the day, because what happens with chemo is you don't wake up one morning bald.
No.
And I think until you speak to somebody, you don't really know what happens. But I remember laying in the bath, and my mother must have been downstairs cleaning, as usual. And I like whatever you pull will just come out.
Yeah.
Hurt or anything. I can remember lining up my hair on the side of the bath.
Oh, wow.
And being like, oh, Mum, because we're Welsh, Mum, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, Mum, come and have a look at this. Not realising that was probably traumatised her forever.
Yeah.
And then we were like, right, okay, well, you know, that's not really nice, so we'll just shave it off. So I think like 4 people grabbed the clippers this one night. They were like, oh, I can't do it.
Oh, really?
And I was like, literally past them here, and it was just off it came. And the first day then, the next day I went to see my sons, and I had a long bright red wig, like super bright, like a straight cut fringe, and I wore that, and it looked awesome. And I walked up to my sons, and I can't remember which one of them said, oh man, I love that wig.
Yeah.
So who would have known that by my friend asking me, you know, that beginning of that year, to shave my hair off would prepare my sons to accept the fact that I was bald and not link it to a serious illness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit spooky, isn't it, really?
It's mental, and that's been my whole life.
It's a little bit like deja. I don't know if deja vu is the right word, but it's a little bit sort of like
it's fate.
Wow.
It's just yeah, it's crazy. So so obviously I was bald then when I was unwell, and I went out and whatever, and I had wigs, and I had a real one, which was lovely. Quite funny, washing your hair when it's not on your head. That's a cool one. And the first day I was bald when I was ill, I put a load of shampoo in my hand, and I went to put it on my head, and then
it just
mid sort of mid shampoo, I realised I didn't have hair. A blob of it went into my eye, and I ended up being like blinding one eye, in the bath, no hair, shampoo everywhere, just laughing my head off. Yeah, so find the positive out of that as well, isn't it?
And obviously you've kicked on from there, and obviously it's a part of. Is it a part of your look? Is it a part of your gimmick now? Like your shaved head? Is this how you roam around?
Yeah, so I've been in remission now for 6 years.
Yeah.
And I've had some super awesome hairstyles since then. So
right.
I'm gonna blow smoke up my own ass with this one because I rocked
the
mullet. Bring the mullet back, right?
Yeah.
So I rocked that for a while. It was really, really cool. Mega short side, spiky in the top, long in the back. Like,
wow.
Proper crew. It was amazing. And yeah, I think a couple of months ago now, it's been 2 months, it's gone really fast, but I just wanted to shave my hair off.
Right.
And every time I looked in the mirror, I just felt like it wasn't my image.
Right.
My hair didn't, what's the word, how can I explain it? I just felt, I was frustrated with it.
Right.
So for days I like sort of held my hair back, even though I knew I looked like bald, I sort of held it and I was like, should I do it? And I was like, so one night I spoke to my eldest son about it, and I was like, oh, I'm really thinking about shaving my hair off. And Trav's a dude, Travis, he's awesome, so it's Finn, but I said this to Trav, and he just went, well, let's just do it now.
Yeah.
I was like, what an amazing thing to come back with.
Yeah.
And my youngest, and Finn, was like, no, grow it looks nice long, no, grow it. So
conflict of interest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, chalk and cheese. And then, yeah, so I did it on a Saturday night, and then they see me on the Sunday morning, and yeah, they neither were shocked, but yeah, I loved it, and I do love it, and I just think, just not so much as break the stereotype, because that's the stereotype to say that, but
I think that the whole like skinhead stereotype, I don't even think, I think that's long gone now. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's going to accuse anyone like for having a skinhead. And I even like, I can't remember the last time I saw one. Do you know what I mean? Like not someone who wanted one, who had hair then shaved it off. Like, yeah, you see plenty of bald fellas who've shaved because they're going bald. But you know, I think it's fashion thing, isn't it? Like it comes in and it comes out. Famous models have done it, haven't there? And it sets trends, but God, yeah, I can't even remember the last time I saw anyone with a skinhead. Like, you're the first one I've seen for a long time. The
reactions that I get, right? And you've got to have, I've got bigger balls than most 99.9% of the men I know, right? They are invisible, thank God.
Yeah.
But they're big, right? Because you know when, just say now, for instance, I was, I'll give you two scenarios, okay? I was in Costa, shout out to the coffee lovers up there.
Yeah.
I know you won.
Yeah.
Last week, and I seen a girl that used to be a member in the gym.
Yeah.
So I ended up managing that gym then after doing my qualifications, and so I knew everybody. And I was talking to her, and I could see her looking like at the side of my head at the cap on. And I went, yeah, and I just shaved my hair off. And she looked at me, and she was like, let me see. And I took my hat off, and she went, that's crazy. And she was just like, she just didn't know what to say. And I was like, yeah, but it's crazy for you though, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's crazy for you isn't crazy for me. And it's like, yeah, but isn't it great now that the next person you see that's done it, you'll be like, oh, I know somebody else has done that. I'd rather take it on the chin for every other person. You can't say for being different, for being themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And just going, well, you know, that's just it then. How do you feel now?
Yeah.
You know, how do you feel? But yeah, and I think, so and I had great satisfaction in knowing that she walked away from me going, okay, that's just who she is. Yeah,
you make a very, very valid point. Some people accuse me of doing like crazy stuff, and I think, no, what's crazy is repeating the same thing that you did last week and thinking you're going to change from it this week, i.e. the Prosecco o'clock club. Oh, I'm going to have a treat this weekend. I'm going to get smashed on Saturday, wake up Sunday, eat loads of shit, get to Sunday night, do some wanky Facebook post about how I'm going to change starting Monday morning, and then come back to Friday, you just do the same process again. I mean, going back to what we did at the weekend, it was nuts. But we had
yeah.
I woke up about 3 in the morning and I just started laughing because it was absolutely freezing, and it was just like, it was, the boffy was awful. My nana's shed, it was just absolutely rotten, and I was like, I can definitely hear something moving on the floor, and I think it's rats. But it probably wasn't rats because it was that cold. They all died of hypothermia.
Yeah.
And I said to one of the lads with us, even hypothermia has got to be earned. You don't,
100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If we all die of hypothermia, we'll have earned it.
Yeah.
And like, some people have messaged me.
That, yeah.
Some people have messaged me privately saying, that's mad. I'm like, no, what's mad is exactly what you've just said. Like, mad is just doing the same thing. Or mad to you is not mad to me. And just have an adventure. Do you know what I mean? Like, you shaving your hair off is you having a bit of a mini adventure. That's what I say to people. Like, you don't have to go to the wilds of Scotland and sleep in a boffy for an adventure. We can do things in our normal day-to-day life that catch someone else and go, oh, they're doing something a bit different over there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone claims to be different, but are they really? I don't know. I don't think they are, because everyone wants...
I think it's hard, isn't it? You know, but it's just having confidence to... It's a huge thing, having confidence to be in who you are.
Yeah.
And I can't lie to myself. If I'm in a job and I don't like it, I ain't doing it. I physically can't do something I don't want to do. If I'm in a relationship and I'm unhappy, I'm going to say, mate, I'm not happy. Like,
it's not for
me. Know, and just, and it's just with everything, isn't it? So looking at myself every day thinking, I want a skinhead, I want to be bald again. And I think it's major of being in control of it, because the first time, it was for charity and I did it for a friend, really. Second time, I didn't have a choice. I can say I didn't care, but, you know, it obviously affected me in some way. Yeah. And this time it was like, no, I want to do it. Look at me. Look how in control of my happiness and health I am. And I can be bold if I want to be.
Do you, with the rise of social media and Instagram and these sort of visual platforms, how do you find them overall? A positive experience or any negativity ever?
Social media, there's positives and negatives, just like there is in everything else in life, isn't there? Really. But personally, and I've listened to a few of your podcasts where you've tapped into this, and it's super crazy actually, because I live in like a really small town in South Wales, and you don't really hear of anybody like outreaching, you know. But I had I was published, do you say that? I don't know, in Chat magazine.
Right.
And the heading was, Facebook helped me beat cancer.
Right.
Because I would share everything on there, you know, positives, negatives of treatment and just my journey in general. And I had completing it to strangers. Really, really, you know, support me massively. And I didn't, and it's weird how, because I know, I can't remember which podcast it was that you had now, but it was sort of looking for people, looking for likes and comment and acceptance from people you don't know. But I had that. An overwhelming, warming support of strangers. And how can that not be positive?
You know? No, I get that.
There was a negative where it sort of, I think it was, I've been in a few things, so it could have been like, I think it was Rugby World magazine I was in once, and the sort of, the online part of it, that somebody sort of said, so it was like 21, 2 children, the boys' ages are on there, and this person basically said, yeah, pretty girl, shame about the tattoos, and has anybody done the maths?
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, like after all that you've just read, online and everything, that's what you come back with thinking, poor you, mate, poor you. But
it's funny. It's funny how people react to it, and it's funny how people throw negativity in there.
But it's cool, you know. Whatever, you know. But I had a huge positive from it all, and I still do, you know. So
you do. You've got to. for those people, and we'll give the links at the end, for those people who don't follow you, you definitely live in it. You're definitely on the rock and roll. I know you sent me a clip the other day, rugby referee. I used to football referee. Now,
nice.
Well, you say
rather
that.
you than me.
Yeah. Well, obviously, there's more respect in rugby between players and officials, but you add a new dynamic to it because now you're an official and you're a woman in a. Obviously, I saw you ref in a male game.
Yeah.
So how does that stack up? And that must have been a challenge.
So rugby, again, you know, I never played it. My first sort of memory then of witnessing a rugby game was sort of if there was a international game on and it was just a piss up basically, wasn't it? Like, oh, the rugby's on, come on, let's go out.
Yeah.
You know, you buy a new dress and, you know, you chuck your heels on, which is rare for me these days. And yeah, you'd have the guys with the pints just looking at the screen, and then you'd have the girls just on the side. I was one of those girls a while, you know, a long time ago now. But so yeah, rugby was, I didn't know anything about it, didn't know any of the rules or anything.
Yeah.
So basically, how rugby came into my life was my eldest son was started a team, so he was started in the 7s and 8s, and it must have been under 7s actually, because my youngest son was too young to start.
Right.
So I found myself then, whilst Travis was on the pitch training, I was on the side of the pitch then with my little one and all the other little ones. Right. So I'd have the ball and I was messing about with them and, you know, just keeping them entertained as the mothers huddled like penguins near cars between, you know, the wind and the rain and everything, or in cars. I was at the side of the pitch with getting stuck in. Yeah. So again, just sort of how fate happened for me to be in a situation for somebody to say, well, why don't you just do your level 1? And there was no coach actually lined up, because a new coach becomes, you know, a coach every age group. Under 7. So I did it, and I had absolutely no knowledge or experience on rugby or coaching at all till day 1 of my course, and I just smashed it. So I did my level 1, did my level 2, and so I coached in the 6, 7s, 8s, 9s, mainly on my own. Wow. So I had like 20 odd 6-year-olds on my own, and most of them were boys, a couple of girls to begin with, but I'd have a huge ball bag, I'd have all the bottles and the beakers and everything, and they just followed me like as you would, I just had a line of troops constantly. And so, you know, going back to the sort of military side of it then as well, it was like I had a manner about me that everybody just listened to. Everyone just listened to me. Yeah, I could say that. I was always stern, but I was always fair. Yeah. And everyone just really enjoyed. I took no shit. You know, and, you know, I'd call the kids out if they were doing something. I'd be like, oh, should we all do that? Should we? Come on, then, everybody do it. Come on, then, let's all do it together then. Let's do what he's doing. And they'd be like, oh, shit, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. And I just loved it, being out in the weather, and it was cold, it was challenging, it was energetic, it was fun, it was rewarding, it was awesome. So then, I went into referee, and then after that, and that just took another level to obviously the discipline. Do you still ref? I don't, no. Oh, do you not? No, I will one day, but it ended up, I was coaching, I was playing, I was reffing, and it was just rugby, and I can remember one day I was refereeing a game, and my sons were, again, still super young, and I could just hear, Mom, Mom, and like when you're a parent, Mom and Dad, you always think it's you. It's like, is that my child? Yeah. But it was a seniors game, and I was like, Mom, and I just looked over and I was like, oh man, you know, I just like, so I was just story of my life, doing too much, you know. But I will one day. I love it, so I will return. I can't remember his name. I hope you can. There's like a famous Welsh rugby referee, isn't there? And there's like loads Bowen,
of that's him. And there's that clip where he says, "I don't know if you have met, but I'm the referee." Like we haven't met, but I'm the referee.
Definitely,
and
I never got any jip, as we say in Welsh. I never got any back chat or anything from anybody, because I think I just have that manner and presence about myself to begin with, and I think respect is earned, not given, and from the word go, you know, just the way that you spoke to them and just the way you carry yourself. And I was given a bit of advice once just to have something about yourself. And
how old were you when you were doing this?
22.
Oh wow! So you
23, 22, 23, yeah, I did it for a couple of years.
And you'd obviously you'd beaten your cancer then, and then you were so you beaten cancer, then you were rugby refereeing. That's
Everything's
a really
come from after
wow.
that, yeah.
Wow.
Loads of things. That's like
It's
you
all,
could probably
wow, yeah.
fill 10 podcasts, John. But yeah, no, it's I mean, like I said, it's just amazing opportunities have come since
and
the day I was diagnosed to now, not just after it, during too.
You talk about opportunities, but I believe we all have opportunities, but it's down to people to grab them.
Yeah.
I know loads of people who say next year, or I'll do it next week, or I'll do it fucking
I'm doing
whenever.
it, like I'll do it now at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like, yeah.
But Monday people, like Monday, like, I know this is crazy, but like, in my head is like, tomorrow isn't promised.
No.
For anyone. You know, you have to do it now. You know, you've got to, and I think, like I said, I'm fortunate to have been through what I have, to have that mindset, because, yeah, it was a shame. Yes, it took cancer to give me that lesson, but oh my God, you know, thank you, because I have that forever, and if I want to do something, I'm doing it now.
Yeah, no, you definitely have like a go-getter like sort of attitude, and I feel like from people who I've met similar to you, who've had that like life-changing experience, they do just suddenly just go, I'm doing everything now. Do you know what I mean? Because tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and there's too many people living in somewhere island. Do you know what I mean? Or somewhere over there. I'll do it sometime, or you know, I get people say to me all the time, oh, I'll definitely come out sometime next year. Sometime next year? Do you want to be a bit more vague than that? Like, do you want?
Yeah, and you just know though from the word go, isn't it? You know what? You know the response you're gonna get, isn't it? Just but like my days are set, right? That I have something planned for every minute of the day. Like I know exactly what I'm doing and when and how long it's gonna take me, and I'm the one. You see people sort of walking around shops and you know they'll have little chats. I'm running. I'm running. If I'm popping into Tesco's and I'm getting something from the furthest aisle, I'm running. Because like I gotta be somewhere, I gotta do something, you know. It's like I don't schedule Tesco's for like 45 minutes. Yeah. I'm in, I'm getting in, and I'm out. I gotta go
and I've got stuff to do.
Yeah, people are just like, hello, and like it's just if you can see me, then awesome.
Yeah, no, it's full on. Caris, we're absolutely smashing through this, mate. So what we'll do is we're going to move on to a part of the show that I really, really, really like, called the 5 Whats. So the first one. What's the greatest piece of advice you've been given?
Okay, so yeah, I've thought about this loads, as I think as everybody else has. But it's more of, again, what I've experienced than advice that I've been given. And it was just a day during my treatment where, so yeah, I have a dog. Shout out to my beautiful
to the wolf.
To the wolf, yeah. So she just saved me as well during my treatment. And one reason why was because one day I'd come downstairs, so she'd obviously push me out of bed, you know, and I'd let her outside to do her business, and it was a beautiful day, and because I had treatment during the summer, and I went outside, and I can just remember, as if, because like I said, I isolated myself, and I can remember just feeling the wind on my cheeks, just as if it was the first time I'd ever heard, I'd ever seen, I'd ever felt all of these things. And I think, you know, people say you have to appreciate and, you know, appreciate the small things, but it's those small things that are actually the biggest things, because without your senses, what have you got? And yeah, I was ill, but I could see my children, I could touch my children, I could kiss them, I could speak to them, I could see them, and that I just had that overwhelming lesson of like being born, but obviously when you're born, you don't realize, because you're just being born. Like, but
small things matter.
I just had this incredible, overwhelming feeling of using all of my senses at the age of 21. And
wow.
Yeah, so just to appreciate the smallest, biggest things, which is your senses, before anything else.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's great. Second one, what's on your bucket list, either as an individual or as a business?
Okay, so I think I'll smash it as an individual, and then because my business is just me, and it's just like I don't promote. I don't need to. I just I have a following because, like they say, I am my product, isn't it? So I'm gonna just roll up as a whole. So yeah, I think a lot of guys have said this new podcast is obviously to travel. My life goal probably is to show my sons the world and show them that how incredible life is by how massive and amazing the world is and everybody that walks in it. Yeah. Everyone and everything. So travel with the lads. So I am super into reminding myself of my strength on a daily basis. So I have massively ticked off the bodybuilding show that I smashed last year. Yeah. So next on the bucket list is sprint triathlons. Ironman one day, but I want to do it laughing, not crying, dying to do the 17 hours. I want to do it laughing. So just sprint triathlons, open water, just, put a stamp on the world, So.
Wow, fair enough. Third one, what's been your toughest day?
Okay, so my toughest day, I think, I can't speak for any other survivors, but I think those who haven't been through it would probably think the toughest day would be the day that you were diagnosed. Yeah. But the toughest day for me was the day I was told I was cured.
Oh, wow.
Because I'd been doing something for so long, and everybody sort of brainwashes you with this sort of fight talk. Fight, you have to fight. Come on, you can do it. You can fight it. You're such a fighter. Fight. And then so got some good news. It's gone.
So you don't have to fight anymore. Yeah.
And you're just the same numbing feeling as you get when you're told you've got it. And I was like, well, I just couldn't accept the congratulations. My mother tapped me on the back because it was like, what you do? And she was like, you done it, girl? And I was like, get off me now. And I just sort of looked around the room she told me this as I was still having the chemo. And I was like, I'm sitting here and everyone's around me and you build a bond with everybody. And it's like, I felt strong-minded enough to do it for everybody in that room, for everybody in the world. I was like, I'll fight it for everyone, So I was like, nah, that was a really tough one for me, and not knowing where to have gone from there, exactly, crazy enough.
Well, that's an interesting, because that's really caught me off guard. But so moving on to number 4, what's been your happiest day?
This still makes me smile, actually. A little grin on my face was because we haven't even got into this either, but so it's the day that I passed my selection in the army.
Oh, right.
So obviously the genetic answer would be the days my son.
Yeah,
I spoke to them about this. Yeah, I spoke to them about this, and I was like, obviously you guys are. But that day, I went to join the army, and because of the way I am, and I just think I could bring so much and be a massive influence on other people to be regimented and just to have respect and all of the morals and things.
Yeah.
But the day, so if people think job interviews are hard, try being a single mother of 2 with a medical history that I've got.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And standing on the last day of selection and being told that you've been accepted, and just being read back the comments that were written about me over the course of the few days that I was there, and that I'd be highly commended and that they'd hope that I'd return for an officer role.
Wow.
And not often does my bottom lip shake.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I've done a lot in my short life, and that to me was just the best feeling ever. And I don't think I'll ever forget that feeling of self-pride. Wow.
And without sort of diving off into it, because I think we definitely need to have a part 2 to this. Why didn't you join the army? What went on there? Did you serve? Did you?
I'm in the reserves.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah. Right. I'm not saying.
No, it's cool. applied as a regular, obviously, but my son's, you know,
Yeah.
I can't yet. But being such a young parent,
Yeah.
I know bringing them up is obviously my priority in life, but one day they're going to be up and gone to uni, or maybe hopefully they do. Hopefully they bomb me out, you know, like they do most weekends now because they're old enough. But you know, they'll get to an age where, you know, they'll create their own goals, and I will just be the, you know, hey mom over the phone, or holidays. I want them to be like that with me, so then I can just go when they do that to me. I'll have a reason and a life to live.
Wow.
Because yes, I'm a mother, but I am Caris, hedd, Bowen, and I have so much to offer the world.
Wow, that's absolutely fair enough. I didn't even when I did my sort of spy work on you, I didn't even see any sort of military anything
It's
that would
super
sort of
early days. It's super
yeah.
early days.
Oh, no, fair play to you. Fair play. That's bob on. So fifth and final one. God, this is a question. What's next?
What's next? So much and so little time to explain. But yeah, so much time in life, which is cool. But yeah, so just to continue to show people on how beautiful life is, and how, you know, they have to choose to see it that way, because God forbid if your health is taken from you, then you'll soon realize, you know. So yeah, just to help people see that now, because I'm fortunate enough to be able to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just and again, to maybe just teach and help people to be in control of their minds, because your happiness and your health is your responsibility, nobody else's.
Yeah.
So yeah, just cracking on with that, and to again show people the importance of physical activity. So not just for your health, your physical health, but your mental health and everything. Because I work 2 jobs. I absolutely don't stop. I use every second of the day, and I find if I don't train, so if I don't swim, if I don't run, or if I don't do anything, I'm fully aware of the mental state that I'm put into, because I haven't done something for me. And yeah, so it's just everything I continue to do for the rest of my life will brush up on other people. And the main one obviously is to raise my 2 young men to be fine gentlemen, and if I fail in that, I've failed in everything.
No, I don't think you will. Brilliant, ladies and gentlemen, Caris. I think we could fill about another 1,000 podcasts.
Yeah, I know.
Where can people find you? Not literally in real life. I don't want people come around your house.
It's okay. They can try. They soon bring me back. Like you said, you commented on a picture of mine saying, "Watch out for the sharks." I was like, "Oh, they spit me out and apologise pretty soon." So yeah, on Instagram it's Caris Alpha T1LT. Carisbowen, and there's the picture of me bald, of course.
Yeah.
As I am on Facebook, Carisbowen. They are private pages, so yeah. So yeah.
Is your Instagram one more business page related, or is it / like business / personal page?
Yeah, it's both at the moment. So basically, down to my personal training, I have a very, very few clients, because I have other jobs. So it's quality, not quantity, and I want and I do move forward with my clients with a life coaching approach, because coming into a session and sweating with me for an hour, whilst I shout to you and tell you not to let yourself down and make use of the time, isn't going to change your life. It's going to get you through the the warm up, the workout, and the cool down, but it's not going to change you. So yeah, so it's a selective few, and my goal then is to help my clients be confident enough to be able to walk into a commercial gym or to go for a run alone. And I don't want them to rely on me heavily. I want to evolve them into confident, happy human beings. So yeah, I haven't got so much of a business page, maybe in time, but yeah, it's like I said, it's I am me, and I have the following that I have just from being myself. So yeah, just
wow.
Yeah, just chuck me a follow. Or,
yeah.
keep track of my madness.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic 2019. You're only as good as the people who you talk to and chat with, and you surround yourself with the right people and you'll have the right outlook on life. And, you know, it's hard not to be impressed to be diagnosed with cancer at 21 and have the ability to smash its teeth in and put your gum shield in and then become into rugby and then open swimming. It's, you know, it's an incredible feat. And, you know, 28, mate, you've got another 25 lifetimes to live. And I think it's incredible, the sort of super positive outlook that you're putting out there. And, you know, really thank you for coming on and being the last guest of 2019. I feel like we're ending on a super... Hey, no, that's what it's all about. It's important to always start strong and finish strong. What happens in the middle doesn't matter as long as you get to the end. And it's been a fantastic year to have so many great guests on. And 2020, just stand by because we're only just going to keep on rocking and rolling, man. Christmas for me is a bit of a distraction, but I'll enjoy Christmas Day and then I'll be straight back into it. Caris, thanks very much for coming on the show. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Having me, John. Thank you.
And everyone else there in the old podcast universe, just remember, there's always 5% and 10% more. Have a great Christmas and set some goals for the new year and stop living on somewhere island. And we'll catch you in 2020. Adios.